So as a GTA YouTuber, I ran into modders, of course, a lot. From people who would harmlessly show you some cool tricks to people who would of course just outright crash your game. And despite all that's happened to me through the years of being a quote-unquote influencer on GTA 5 and online, compared to other GTA YouTubers, I think I've gotten off pretty easy in my opinion. I hear from the likes of Gypsy that he just gets straight up targeted whenever he goes online, which is pretty unfortunate. I'm not really sure why modders would like to go out of their way just to harass the guy, but over the years of playing the game and people knowing who I am and having the ability to just join me at any one time, I can't really say I've been targeted the same way as Gypsy, except whenever I try and stream GTA Online. There's always someone who's gonna try and crash those. I remember one time we were recording a Discord event for the battle train video, and we had like a modder who was a part of PRG looking after everyone, making sure that everything was working, the battle train game was set up and working and all that stuff. We had a guy who was using some crappy free menu or something. The guy gets banned on the spot in the session, and the game like does that little message saying that this player has been removed from the session for cheating or whatever. And everyone, I was in a group Discord call with everyone who was recording, and we were all just like, "Way get fucking rigged." It was funny. I run into modders all the time, most of which make themselves known in oddly wholesome ways, like I'd be minding my own business in an invite-only session, on my own, doing stuff for videos, etc. Then all of a sudden there's a character sat in the passenger side of whatever car I'm driving, and I'm just like, who the hell is this guy? And he's just like, how do you do, sir? As you'd expect, I get rather anxious wondering as to what they have planned for me, because I'm in a private session on my own, they've gone out of their way to force join me. It's either they've come to mess up my day, or, and this has always been the case so far, which I count myself pretty lucky, they've come to check me out up close like they're one of those seals in those cute videos, you know, they're on the beach and then the seal comes up to the man with the camera. They reveal up front that they're modding, and then they offer to help out by teleporting around the map, etc. It's all very good stuff. It all comes very handy at the most unexpected of times, I must say. That isn't to say I haven't been harassed at all by modders before, but whenever that happens they're usually a lot more quiet and stealthy about it, and get the job done really quick, and you can pretty much guess what they do to me in that case. That is unless I'm being protected by a friendly modder who's got a better menu than them, and then only sometimes it works out for them. As you would expect, I know a lot of guys who use high-end mod menus. I even know a few people who have scripted a few things for mod menus and created their own menus outright. And they keep boasting about their ability to make mincemeat out of people who are using even high-end mod menus, like straight up denying their ability to crash their game and then instantly retaliate. But modding to me means a bit more than just having a hypothetical nuke to defend against people with other hypothetical nukes. To me, they've been very important in the making of some videos. If you've watched that video of me and the gang lifting up Kasatkas to carry them up to the top of Mount Chiliad and the top of Maze Bank, for the research and development of the planning on how we would feasibly lift a Kasatka in the air, we actually had a modder come in and say, hey, for training purposes I could alter the weight of the Kasatka in game to make it easier for you guys to train and hone your skills. And we did just that. We reduced the weight of the Kasatka in game by a matter of about 20%, I think. And then as we found that we were able to deadlift the submarine easier and easier, we gradually took away the weight reduction until we eventually were able to just lift the thing outright with no modifications done. So that helped a lot for the insanely difficult challenge that we had. Oh, and for anyone who's calling fake on our video now, you can replicate it yourselves. It is a thing you can do. You can replicate it yourselves. And hell, I've noticed the other videos of people lifting the Kasatka up with the likes of the, what's that giant plane called? Yeah, they use that, and then they balance it on their nose as they fly through the air. It's insane. It's definitely a lot quicker to lift the Kasatka in the air than what we did, but I can't imagine how inaccurate it must be dropping it off to the intended target. I do have to attribute the ability to make a lot of vehicle review videos thanks in part to the vast sums of money that I've been dropped by modders. I remember back when money drops were so rampant, you could have like a modder drop you $100 million in no less than 5 minutes. It really was that unbelievably economy destroying at the time. And I do wonder if the prices of current supercars, properties, businesses, and such cost this much because of modders in the past. I wonder if the prices would have been this high had we not had modders around. I remember when yachts first came out, I checked out the price of the yachts in game and I was just like, what the? I can't afford this, how the hell am I gonna make a review video on yachts? I was on the fence of buying a few shark cards to be able to buy a yacht for the video, but then I noticed the chat feed on the right of the screen, people were saying stuff like, money drop please, and I'm just like, I gotta move. So I turn up to the modder dropping cash on, I think, like 4 guys stood around him. I turn up, I'm just stood there hoping he starts dropping money on me. I mean, he doesn't at first, and then I start to get worried about having to buy shark cards, but then all the other players walk away from the modder, and then all of a sudden money started dropping on me. And that modder did not disappoint. I gained, I think, $60 million in like 30 seconds. It was that fast, and the only reason I didn't get more money was because I was worried that my money would either get taken away by Rockstar or I'd get banned for taking the cash. Anyways, once I gained like $60 million, I just kind of ran away from the modder so that he'd stop dropping money on me, and then I bought that yacht, and then I made that video. And ever since then, every time I've needed money to waste on useless vehicles for videos, I always just got enough cash from whatever I needed from modders. I never really got greedy, I must say. Usually how it would work would be like, we learn roughly how much we're gonna need for the upcoming DLC, and then a couple of nights before release we'd meet up somewhere like the yacht, and then we'd just have like a yacht party, and everyone who's invited gets a constant money drop, and infinite champagne, and boobies. There is more to it than just getting money drops to be able to afford useless vehicles though. Back when I was making GTA skip videos, often at times the usage of actor bots in single player simply wasn't enough to be able to fill out the roles of what I needed to make it look right for the movie, etc. I had to record a lot of stuff in online with human player actors filling in, but that came with its own set of downsides, like having to deal with the fact that I couldn't directly control stuff like the weather or the time of day. I mean, now GTA Online has been patched at this point to disable the editing of time and weather, but back in the day, being able to control the time and weather was an absolute godsend. Like, some videos were absolutely impossible to do without modders, like the recording of If Tryhards Ruled Free Mode. The entire intro of that was recorded with a modder who was controlling the weather and the time, locked to rainy at night, and that gave us infinite time to just plan stuff and, you know, re-record stuff if things went wrong, etc. And it just overall meant that we didn't have to wait forever and a day for nighttime as well as rain at the same time. That's like winning the lottery, to be honest. Mods also proved useful in situations where you think it might not be so, like scenes that involve a lot of players on screen doing a battle scene. Without mods, it is possible. Just have everyone call in their favourite PvP vehicle, get them lined up for camera rolling, and then jobs are good. The only problem is, GTA Online isn't very reliable when it comes to calling all of your vehicles in at the same time, and it would take forever and a day to get ready for just one shot. So whenever we would record something like this, we would usually have a modder who would just spawn in a hell ton of jets or tanks or whatever, and then we just borrow those tanks and jets. It made it much faster for shooting. It also comes in handy whenever you need to create some mild chaos like this scene in If Tryhards Ruled Free Mode. The scene where the gang are defending themselves against an endless horde of oppressors. How it would work would be like the modder as well as the actors that are portraying the bad oppressor guys would just wait outside. The modder would spawn in a whole bunch of oppressors in the line, and then the bad guys would just borrow those oppressors. Then all of the hero characters waiting inside would just be like waiting with the miniguns at the ready, and then action! All of the oppressors would fly in, and then as soon as the tryhard actors would die, they'd just, you know, respawn back out, but then the modder would teleport them back to where all the oppressors are so then they can get back on a new oppressor and then just fly in again. So this scene here, although it seemed like it would have taken forever and a day to record, it didn't take long, and it was actually really fun to record. Especially since we were all in like a private call and we were just having tons of fun shooting each other, and oh man, those were the good times. Yeah. There were some times where modders couldn't help, like when I had to record the arena scenes for the If Cops Had Arena War Vehicles video. I'll probably go more in depth about how I recorded this at a later time, but to sum it up, it all had to be done in single player. I had to use bots, and programming all of the bots to do everything that I needed was mind-bendingly challenging to make it work. I couldn't get it done in online because the arena is like a really weird instance location that can only be accessed through very strict means, you know, arena wars. It's very finicky to get it spawned in free mode. It is possible, I believe, now, but at the time it was kind of a serious challenge, so it was just easier to do in single player. Now, if there's one statement you should quote me for regarding modders in GTA 5 and online, and I'm not really going to say this as a sort of simp for modders because they've given me all this money and helped me make videos, is that yes, while some are a pain when it's some trouble kid who wants to just troll you or try to stop you whenever you're trying to work on a video or something, there are some modders that have also been very responsible for things that simply wouldn't exist without their help. And some of the videos that you've seen from me just wouldn't exist without them. I mean, the money helps, but great classic videos like If Tryhards Ruled Free Mode, the If GTA Was One Lobby series, and the If Cops Had Vehicles series, they just wouldn't exist or be as cool to watch as they would have been had there been no modders to help with practical effects and such. So overall, yeah, modders. They exist, for better and for worse. And with that, I do thank you all very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed watching this, I hope you can leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification icon. That really helps out the channel. And I will see you around, folks.